Hi everybody, it's Melanie with Lost and Found. lostandfounddecor.com is my website, and I am out here in my garage today working on this Empire style chest of drawers. If you follow me on my Facebook page, I posted about it a couple days ago asking for your opinion. What color should I go with it? Should I go with red? Should I go with blue? And as you can see, I've gone with red. So just wanted to bring you guys along with me today. I'm going to go over here and refresh my computer Facebook page just so that as we're going along, if anybody has any questions, I can see. It's too hard to see the comments on this little tiny screen, but I can see them here on my computer. So let me get down to where we are. Okay, there I am. All right, so yeah, as we go along, as always, if you have questions, be it about what we're working on or other things about painting furniture or about Lost and Found, I'm happy to answer questions as we go. You can type those in the comment section. And I don't really have anything specific to teach you guys today. I just kind of wanted to take you along with me on this makeover a little bit. So I'm working with milk paint. This is a color called Tricycle from the Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint line, and that's the milk paint that I work with when I work with milk paint. Here's my big jar of Tricycle. Okay, milk paint comes in a powder. You mix it with water, equal parts water and powder. So I've got a little scoop. I scoop out how much I want, and I fill the same scoop up with the same amount of water. I drop that into my mason jar and I give it a good shake. And it's that easy to mix it up. People get intimidated by mixing milk paint, but it's not hard. Now, this did leak on me today, and I do have some red on my hands, and so don't freak out. It's not blood. It's just red. It's just red milk paint. But it's that easy. You shake it up, and then you want to let this jar sit about 10 minutes just to really let the pigments all kind of break up. Then you can go in and scrape it around a little bit. So I mixed this up a few minutes ago before we got started, and it's ready for me to pour out. I have another bowl here that I'm just going to pour it into, and an old kitchen spatula that I'm going to use to scrape and then stir it a little bit once it gets in the bowl. And what I like using too about mixing your milk paint in a mason jar is that whatever you don't use, you can just close the lid and stick it in the refrigerator, and then it's good to go. You can keep it for 7 to 10 days, sometimes longer. But usually I run out. I typically only mix what I need, but I had a little bit left over from when I painted the first coat on this yesterday. And it's really easy just to store it like that. So I'm going to scrape the sides. By the way, if you're watching, hi, Trina. Okay, Trina has a question for us about the red hard to mix. Yes, the red of all of the milk paint colors is the hardest to mix, but I have discovered if I do it like this, if I shake it, I don't have any problems with it. It mixes right up. But you're right, of all of the colors in the milk paint line, the red can be the trickiest, but it's mixed really, really well, just shaking it in this jar. Red is also just a hard color to paint. It second to bright white, it might be the hardest color. And that really goes for any paint that you use. I painted in my kids' room. They had a Dr. Seuss room for a while, and so we did stripes along the wall, different colors, and the stripes were kind of wonky. It was really fun. And the red stripes, we had to paint and paint and paint and paint. And then when it was time for them to move out of the Dr. Seuss room to paint over it, it took us forever to cover up those red stripes. So red is just, it's tough. It typically takes more coats than other colors. So just know that. Don't freak out if you're using 3 or 4 coats of red. It's just the way that the pigments are that make red pigments. Hi, Vicki. Thanks for tuning in today. It just, the way that they mix with the paint, it's really translucent a lot. You can really see through red. And so it just takes lots of coats. So yeah, I would love it if you're watching live, if you could just comment and let me know where you're watching from. It's so fun to see where everybody is. We have Vicki here, who's from Australia. She's watching. I got a lot of you Australia folks that tune in. And as you know, I'm here in Dallas, Texas. It's Thanksgiving week break here, so my kids are home from school, which means at any moment they could come through that door. I think that they were all taken care of when I started this, but they were inside. So if a small little boy shows up, that's one of my kids. We're enjoying some time off. Hope you guys are enjoying some time off. Marshall, Arkansas. Fantastic. My husband's from Arkansas. We moved here from Arkansas, so we know Arkansas well. Okay, yes, keep going with letting me know where you're watching from, and also if you have questions. If you have questions, I can read those right here. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so when I paint with milk paint, this is the brush that I use. It is my 2-inch angled synthetic bristle brush. You don't want to use a fat, round, natural bristle brush with milk paint. It soaks up too much water. Milk paint has a lot of water in it. You're obviously mixing it with water, and it soaks up too much, and then you're going to have this thick sludge. So use your synthetic bristle. These are from the Fusion Mineral Paint line. I sell these on my website. They're great brushes. I have 2 of them. I just wash them out, store them upside down. They're great, and they're kind of pretty. They've got this pretty copper ferrule right here. So you want to use a synthetic brush for your milk paint. So I'm going to slide this piece over a little bit. And, you know, when I asked you guys a few days ago if we wanted to do red or blue, it was about split. I think there was maybe a few more reds than blues, but this is one of those pieces that I know when I'm done with it that people are going to love it or they're going to hate it. And thank you, Vicki. Vicki says she loves tuning into the live, so I appreciate that. Yeah, they're either going to love it or they're going to hate it. And this was an old piece, and I know there's going to be some people that are going to say, why did you paint that? It's terrible. So what I want to say first off that I tell everybody is that it's only paint. Paint can always come off. You can take it off. It's not going to damage this wood. This wood is great. It's sturdy. It has many more lives left to come. So if somebody didn't like it, they can take this paint off. The wood's going to be totally fine. Not a problem. That's why we make furniture out of wood, because you can keep reinventing it over and over and over. And that's why I'm a huge proponent of buying old pieces for your home instead of going to IKEA and buying that plastic junk, because it's just not going to last. So buy old pieces, and then you can redo them over and over and over. Okay? And secondly, I've just had to learn that not everybody likes everything, and that's okay. You know, I do struggle with people pleasing. I like to keep people happy, but I've had to learn that not everybody's going to like a red piece, and that's okay. But I wanted to experiment with something different. So it's good when you're working with milk paint to just keep whatever you're stirring it with handy, and just keep kind of stirring it, because it will settle a little bit as you're using it. So I'm going to give it a little stir, and then I'm just going to start working here on this side, okay? If your milk paint is dripping on you, it's too thin. You need to add more powder to it. And just working our way down. One of the things that I like the most about milk paint is that it gives you such a smooth finish. If you're the kind of person that you don't like brush strokes, you're going to like working with milk paint. It's about as smooth of a finish as you can get without using a paint sprayer. And it's because it's just a thin paint. Again, that high water content, it makes it thin, and it keeps it it lays it down nice and flat. It's really very forgiving too. If you get a drip mark in there or something, it's so easy to go back and just sand it smooth. You're not going to get a big hunk come off, or, you know, sometimes with your chalk type paints, if you make a mistake, you've got bad brush technique or a lot of brush strokes, it's just hard to fix it. Milk paint's not like that. And then I always tell people that when they're using milk paint, my phrase is that it looks mildly terrible until you're all the way finished with it. Yes, Sandra, thank you. Sandra says she loves using milk paint because she can paint inside her house and it doesn't smell. So milk paint is all natural. It's a great option for a paint to use if you have any sort of chemical sensitivities, because there's nothing synthetic in it. So that's a great point. And you can paint inside. I've been painting a lot of my garage these days because I'm really trying hard to keep the inside of my house free of my furniture business. I kind of want to reclaim it for myself. So I'm trying to do most of my work in the garage. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, a very easy to work with forgiving paint. But it does look kind of bad. The first coat always looks really pretty bad. And then with each coat, it starts looking better and better. And then when you finish it with the wax and you give it that sand to smooth it, it looks amazing. So just keep at it. Don't, especially in that first coat, don't be scared. Yeah, and Sandra made the point too that Fusion Mineral Paint also, it also doesn't have any odor. Both of these are 0 VOC, which means they don't emit any sort of, not necessarily odors, but any of that. You know, when you've painted a room and you walk in, it smells like paint for like 3 days after. Those are the VOCs that you're smelling. And some people are really, really sensitive to those. They can be mildly toxic. And so both Fusion and Milk Paint have 0 VOCs. So they're not sending any of that stuff into the air. So this is the second coat of the Tricycle. It's probably going to need a third. It's still a little bit translucent in some spots. I was expecting to have to do it a third. I was going to be really surprised if I got away with 2. Again, red and bright white. Just plan on 3 to 4 coats. In my experience, in kind of any line that you're using, bright whites and then any sort of other bright colors like bright turquoise or like a neon green, or those colors are always thinner. And they always take more coats. So just understand that. I've learned that if you go into painting something with right expectations, you get a lot less frustrated. If you start painting with red and you are expecting it to take you 1 coat or 2, then you get really frustrated. If you start and you just know it's going to take you 3 or 4, then it's just much more pleasant for everybody, right? Okay, so that side is done. I'm going to smooth up here. Maybe pull you guys a little bit closer and let you see. Yes, so a really vibrant red, and it's drying. The spots that are a lot brighter are still the wet spots. Milk paint dries really quickly. This will be dry in 20-25 minutes, and then you can recoat it. And my plan is to finish it off with an antiquing wax. And so to tone down a little bit of the red, to give it a little bit more depth. And I was really hoping for some good chipping, and I haven't gotten it yet. To prep this piece, all I did was I sprayed it down with some Simple Green and I wiped it, and that was it. I didn't sand anywhere because I was hoping for a little bit of chipping, but it's adhered fine all over the whole piece. I'm not getting much chipping. If I come back with my hairdryer and I hit it with my hairdryer some as my last coat's drying, I might get a little bit of chipping. My last piece that I did with milk paint, it chipped like crazy. And I had to keep it in my house an extra 3 or 4 days just to get the chipping to stop. So yes, all right, I'm gonna keep painting and sign off here. But I want to let you guys know that I appreciate everyone so much who tunes in to these live videos. And I wanted to let you know that we're crooked. Let's fix that. There we go. If you are someone who purchases paint from me, from my online shop, then I'm going to be running a Black Friday sale starting in just a few days. If you want to know what that is, then you need to be on my email list. So my email list is not hard to get on. lostandfounddecor.com, which is my website, and then you do /connect. That's it. And I'll try to go back and post that in the comments, but you can sign up for my email list there. And my email subscribers are the first people that get notified of any online sales that I do. So we are going to be running a sale for Black Friday. And I have some plans next week after Thanksgiving for a stenciled sign live video. And I have an extra stencil that I'm going to be giving away at the end of the video. So it's going to be a Christmas sign. One of the fantastic stencils that I have from the Funky Junk stencil line. I don't know if you guys have seen those. They're amazing. I've got a couple of them. Can we see the grocery? That one? Okay, that's one. I have one and it says "You Cut Tree Farm," and we're going to be making that next week on a live after Thanksgiving. And then I have one of those stencils I'm going to be giving away. So I appreciate everybody stopping in and saying hi. I hope you've learned a little bit more about milk paint today. Again, if you got more questions, leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to go back and answer. As always, you can see more makeovers on my website. And I just appreciate you guys following along today. And if I don't see you guys again, I don't know if I'll be back on here again, but if I don't see you again before Thanksgiving and you celebrate Thanksgiving, everybody have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.